Open and prayer of four boundless qualities. May all sentient beings have happiness, and in the cause of happiness, may they be free from suffering, and in the cause of the suffering, may they never be apart from the sublime bliss that is free from suffering. May they remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all sentient beings have happiness in the cause of the happiness. May they be free from suffering in the cause of the suffering. May they never be apart from the sublime bliss that is free from suffering. Free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all sentient beings have happiness in the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering in the cause of the suffering. May they never be apart from the sublime bliss that is free from suffering. May they remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. Correct your motivation. Correcting your motivation. Correct your motivation. Kunlong, right? In Tibetan, Kunlong. Roger is learning Tibetan, so sometimes I would say in Tibetan. Gun long. Gun means all, long means to pick one. So you have so many different thoughts, but pick the best thought, which is bodhicitta. Now, I would like to talk about a basic understanding of the stages of meditation. Okay? And the most important method for shamatha practice. Okay? Because without these methods, you cannot develop your meditation. Generally, as you know, the practice of Dharma means that you have received beneficial teachings and have actually started to put them into practice. The teachings give you guidance on how to live meaningful lives and how to develop good attitude. That's about teaching. Teaching is so important because of that, right? How to live meaningful life. Buddhism, this is Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism. This kind of Tibetan Buddhism, don't think it is a religion. This is not a religion. Clear. Religion we have, you don't understand. Good for Tibetan people. Origin, this all. These teachings give you really how to live meaningful life. That's not religion. The life we have right now is amazing. I really think that I recognize how fortunate we are. So you have to appreciate it every single day. Because the more you appreciate it, the more you see the beautiful part of your life. And the more you see that, the more you will also see other beings who don't have this precious life. Because of that, your compassion will generate. I think most of you have no idea how many people are suffering and the way that they are suffering. You have no idea. Because you have grown up in this amazing country, powerful, lots of options. So actually you have no experience of those kind of sufferings. So that's why I'm saying you are very fortunate. If you want to know, please watch the documentaries of suffering people and slaughtered animals. Because when you see those things, even if you have some problems, you will recognize, oh, my problem is nothing compared to this sufferings. So it sort of purifies your suffering and it makes your life like more valuable. You know, sometimes people tell me in interviews, people tell me their problems, and I usually told them, your problem is actually nothing compared to other beings who are really suffering. I really feel that. They would say, you know, but yeah, I have big problem. Let's think about this. You put yourself somebody's place, you know, someone's shoes, and you are homeless, and you have nothing to eat. You are so hungry, and you pick up garbage food, and then of course you get sick, and your body becomes like a rotten, you know, and like starts getting like flies all over it. The weather, for instance, like the weather temperature is like 100 degrees, so hot. So many people die under this situation. So I know this. I saw these things. I've been these kind of places. It's not just a story. I'm telling you, they're like a real situation, you know. So can you compare your little problems to this kind of situation? You have nothing to eat, and you really go all over there and then pick garbage food, you eat it. I saw that, many people doing it. But how can you do? Nothing. It's their karma. So I think we have to appreciate our life. Of course, we will have problems as long as we have negative thoughts, emotions, and as long as we are in samsara, we have problem. Inevitable, for sure. We have problem there and here. But we have these great opportunities. Those people have no opportunities. Just there's no way to escape from the suffering. They're suffering their whole life and die that way. There's no chance, no opportunity. So I think you should be happy and appreciate your beautiful life. Appreciate you have this kind of like great opportunities. People still blame, the country and the people, and that's wrong, this right, like wrong. But I think this is amazing. So the more you appreciate your life, you really, it makes you happy. And then you like see the value of your life, and then that means you really want to do something meaningful while you have these opportunities, right? You don't want to waste this opportunity. And you have to develop more good qualities while you have these opportunities, right? So those people, animals, have no choice, no opportunities. That's why I really want you to understand your precious life, so that you can do something for others who don't have good life. Means like you can even like think about them and send your life them, like that kind of things, So that's an maybe you might think like all the time. Why I must say like recognize your opportunities and appreciate your life. Why I'm saying this? Because this is very real, very, very important. Most of you, I'm sure you understand that, but just in case. Okay, now in order to understand the stages of meditation and methods, the first step is the teacher and student relationship. This is very important. If the teacher knows how to use the teachings to benefit students, then this teacher is, remember yesterday we talked about the best teacher, but that is a very difficult job. If the teacher doesn't have much experience of meditation, it's a difficult job. And students need to recognize and understand the benefit of Dharma practice and keep sort of stable mind. Stable thing means stable mind, stable commitment, stable, enthusiasm to practice. Make sure that you don't have less and less desire to practice. That's a very bad sign. If you have that, you have to be careful, otherwise you're going to lose it. And when we are talking about the stages of meditation, there are general stages of meditation. Okay, for example, practice and renunciation, generating bodhicitta, recognize the nature of mind. But there are other methods we need, like stages of meditation that are very good for everyone who is really, really interested in practicing meditation. It's not just only for Buddhist practitioner. So now, the first, let's talk a little bit about mindfulness and awareness. When you practice shamatha and vipaśyanā, you definitely need your mindfulness and awareness. Whether you have a good meditation or not good meditation depends on these two methods, mindfulness and awareness. Because mindfulness, awareness are the kind of like tools of the meditator. Therefore, any kind of meditation that you practice, you really cannot meditate without these two. Why? Because, for example, you have the mind and you have the object of your meditation. But how are you going to hold your mind and the object together? That's the question. You can hold these two things together with your mindfulness and awareness. But most of the time, we are not really being present when we are not mindful. We speak without thinking. We allow our emotion to get, out of control. But when you are mindful, each action and thought are done like consciously. So being mindful means taking responsibility for what you are thinking, saying, and doing, your actions. So when you meditate on shamatha, you have to focus on the object. You cannot forget the object. And continuously recognize and pay attention to your distractions. But without mindfulness and awareness, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. So mindfulness is keeping the mind in place, and awareness is watching what is happening. So for example, mindfulness is being focused on something, and if the mind wanders, then you have awareness. And you can set it back again. So your awareness is looking at your mind kind of like from a long distance. It means like your mind is focused on your meditation, but still you will know what is happening at that moment. If your mind stays calm and relaxed, and at the same time you also notice any distractions, then you have both mindfulness and awareness. So I think when we try to meditate, usually we are struggle with two very common problems. One problem is you cannot focus on your visualization at all, right? Because of distractions. That's one problem, very common. And another problem is even if you are trying to focus on your visualization, but it is not clear and it is not stable, that is the second problem. So when you have these distractions, basically you are not there. That means you are constantly not aware of what is happening. For example, when you have a cup of tea, you are not aware of the tea. You are thinking about something else while you are drinking the tea. Like that. Similarly, like when you are practicing meditation, you are not aware of the practice. You are thinking about something else while you are meditating. That's why Papa Rinpoche says that it looks like, like your body is on the cushion, but that doesn't mean you are meditating. And when you are done with your meditation, if you check it out, sometimes you will see the whole your meditation time you were thinking about something else. And so this sort of continuous like lack of mindfulness and awareness are what causes your endless thoughts and emotions. So then you didn't have good meditation. But if you're in the present moment, then you are not feeding your thoughts and emotions. The moment you are in the present moment, you are in the present, somehow you are really separate from your thoughts and emotions. And through mindfulness practice, you will know that you have distractions, and knowing that you have all of these distractions is really good for your practice. Really good for your practice. And knowing that you have these distractions is really bad for your distractions. Right? Because they will lose their power. So that's why mindfulness awareness is important. And in order to have a peaceful mind, you need to develop mindfulness awareness. Okay? So actually, most of the time, meditation is a mental activity. It means even if the body is in perfect position, your mind can still think about something else, as I said. So the point is, you cannot have a peaceful mind without applying self-discipline. Because when you practice meditation, you know your mind, but you just can't control and leave it alone. So you need practice of mindfulness. And when you practice meditation on mindfulness, you are making a really good connection with everything. When you sit down and meditate with your mindfulness, you are making a connection with your body, making a connection with your mind, of course, everything. So that is your meditation. Making connection with everything is your meditation. Meditation without mindfulness and awareness is like planting a dead tree. It means nothing growing except your thoughts. So we all know how important it is to practice these two methods, mindfulness and awareness. But sometimes, most of the time, we don't have them. That's why we have to practice shamatha and vipaśyanā. When you practice both of these, you are actually practicing mindfulness and awareness. And most of you understand the difference between mindfulness, awareness, but maybe some people don't know. So I will explain it in an easy way, okay? Not complicated way. Mindfulness is stillness of mind, and awareness is knowing that it is still. That is the difference, okay? That is the difference. Of course, there are many, many ways to explain about this too, the difference between, but that is the difference. So we have these two very important mental states. When you are first beginning to meditate, you will experience the feeling of not being able to hold the object, whatever object you are focused on. Therefore, these two are the foundation of meditation. Meditation is usually associated with concentration. Concentration is focus the mind. In order to do that, mindfulness is necessary, and it requires effort and self-discipline. These things are related to each other, okay? Once you have attained good stability in your meditation practice, thoughts come and go sort of in your mind like the wind moves through the sky. When you are no longer controlled by your thoughts, then your meditation, like the meditation and post-meditation are not different, not separate. But many people cannot do that, right? So you can do like very well, like when you sit down and meditate, mindfulness, shamatha, very well, very good. I think you're amazing, you're very good. But when you live out the room and normally your life, you don't have that meditation. So your actual meditation and post-meditation, nyamjak and jithap in Tibetan, separate. Nyamji irmit means like there's no separation between actual meditation, post-meditation. You are almost there, enlightenment. So then everything is like become a meditation. But we don't have right now that, but we, because people are not living in this present moment in their daily lives, because too many distractions. People are living like, in their thoughts and emotions all the time, develop them, right? Every single day. Thoughts and emotions are just habit. So you can change. If you rely on your thoughts and emotions alone to experience life, the endless thinking can eventually lead to suffering, right? But becoming mindful of your action helps you live more in the present moment. Then you experience the richness of your life. Then you will understand the precious of life, and then you can appreciate it. So it is very important to cultivate mindfulness in everyday life and be aware of your actions and try to keep your thoughts in the present moment instead of wandering on the past or future all the time. Great Master Shantadewa said in the Way of the Bodhisattva, he said, I give you this quote, "All you who would protect your mind, maintain your mindfulness and awareness, guard them both at cost of life and limb. I join my hands, beseeching you." If you would like to know more about these two, mindfulness and awareness, you should read Shantadewa's The Way of Bodhisattva. It has 10 chapters. Chapter 4 is on mindfulness. Chapter 5 is on awareness. Very important. The whole chapter, you can learn so much about mindfulness and awareness. You should read that. I will not teach you better. You should read The Way of Bodhisattva. There is a lot more and many ways you understand mindfulness, awareness. But this is a basic way of explaining the difference between mindfulness, awareness. But of course, I have talked about mindfulness, awareness many times, so I'm sure you understand them very well. But sometimes if you hear them frequently, then it inspires you to keep them in your mind when you meditate. So when you practice shamatha, can you see there is a mindfulness and there is awareness. So if you want to practice shamatha, right now I'm talking about the stages of meditation. So if you want to practice shamatha, mindfulness, awareness are necessary. But don't think like, oh, I'm going to practice shamatha. I'm not going to practice mindfulness. Oh, now I'm going to practice mindfulness, but not shamatha. They're same. They're the same. So for as long as, if you have like shamatha practice, shamatha mind, the balanced mind, then you have mindfulness. You don't make them separate, like, different way to, you can practice different ways, but they are the same. Once you have to understand that these are the methods, practice shamatha and vipaśyanā, whatever. So mindful, danba, shibyin, danchi, mindfulness, awareness, so important. Okay? This is like the way, the mindfulness awareness is huge, actually. Like according to Buddhist philosophy, there are so many like characteristics and different between, and these are like two mental sort of, different like emotions. I don't know. But what I explain you is like we really need this kind of instructions, not like Buddhist philosophy, the way explained Buddhist philosophy, but this is when we meditate shamatha. My teachers always say when you practice whatever you practice, preliminary shamatha, without mindfulness awareness, you are not there. Okay? Keep that in mind. And I will explain you more about the other stages of meditation. Is this last one? Yeah, probably tomorrow. Now we're going to practice shamatha again. Now, how do you practice shamatha? How do you practice shamatha? Easy way, like you start with an object, and you can, as I said, you can pick any object. But according to Rinpoche, the best object is to focus on the Buddhas for Buddhist people. So look at the Buddha's image, at his whatever heart center or his face, whatever you like to focus on. And at the same time, bring your mind together and try not to let anything come into your mind, but just be aware of it. Just to focus on his image for as long as you can. If your thoughts arise, rest your mind again and continually rest. If you meditate this way, like if you feel like there is no view, if you just look at Buddha's picture, image, and then don't let any other thought come, and only that sometimes you feel like, is this correct? There is nothing like, sometimes you feel like there's no awareness, clarity, or there's no view. You feel like, is this correct? Is this, what is this, Like you feel nothing, like it's just like, but that's actually fine. That's actually shamatha, object with object, shamatha. And maybe close your eyes and bring the picture into your mind. Don't think anything like what does his Buddha's color look like, or his big or small, not like that. Simply observe what you see, yet avoid creating mental activities. Just to focus on it and relax there until your next thought arises. And then again, open your eyes and go back to the image. Focus on it. Bring the image into your mind again and relax. So do this, okay? Do this like alternately, like over and over again. That's all. Don't think about devotion or having no devotion. And so on. So devotion, compassion, all of this like analytical meditation. Not shamatha, not dzogchen. Dzogchen practice need devotion, but while you practice dzogchen, you can't think about devotion. Something you think about it, hold it, you're not there. So you have to let go everything. The good emotion, the good thoughts, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, both are obstacle. Both are obstacle. So you have to let everything go, just to relax without distractions. When you think about, for instance, devotion, then you are not there. You are not focused on the Buddha's image. You are thinking something else. So that's not shamatha. That's analytical meditation. So you do this, like open your eyes, look at the image, and then close your eyes, bring that picture in your mind, just focus on that. So this is kind of like alternate, like object with object shamatha, objectless shamatha, if you like. And you see how long you can focus your mind without other thoughts. You can see that. So for instance, we meditate for 10 minutes. Can you do that? Like without really, like you can focus your mind, without other thoughts. Can you do that for 10 minutes? If not, that's totally fine. If you can, that you are pretty good. So you are the best teacher for yourself. And because you know what is going on in your mind. So that's meditation. And we're going to say again the prayers, okay? With Buddha's prayer. Buddha's prayer with mantra. And then blessing, supplication prayer. You will get lots of blessings because this practice called treasury of blessing. Tir means treasury. Shinlap means blessing. So the treasury of blessing, a practice of Buddha Shakyamuni. So that's why this supplication, blessing supplication prayer is good. This is amazing prayer. Going to practice 10 minutes, then we'll see how, if you have more energy, practice more. If you have no energy, done. We'll see. With your great compassion, raised this turbulence and degenerate world, and made 500 made aspirations. You are as excellent as the man lotus. Whoever hears your name shall never return to samsara. Most compassionate teacher, to you I pay homage. Om Mani Mani Maha Manaye Soha. Grant your blessings so that I realize primordial purity is the true nature. Grant your blessings so that I recognize whatever arises in my own mind. Grant your blessings so that I liberate delusion into its own nature. Grant your blessings so that I increase my meditative capability. Grant your blessings